Chris Lopez here with another training from MLMCompletePackage.com. I often get asked, how do I go about marketing my business on Facebook, or how do I generate leads off of Facebook? And there's a lot of different ways you can do it on Facebook, both with paid advertising like Facebook's PPC, promoted post, creating fan pages and things like that. And you can also go about doing it, the free way or organic way, where you go out there and make Facebook friends, develop relationships, and send private Facebook messages. And there's no, one right way or one best way to do it. There's all sorts of various ways to go about marketing your business on Facebook. But I find one of the best ways to learn how to market online is to know what doesn't work. Learn what doesn't work. That way you don't do it, and it'll help steer you and your business in the right direction of doing things. So I'm going to take you through an example of one of the ways of not to market your business and not to generate leads on Facebook. So I got this private message from Lotta, and I removed her last name and Facebook photo for privacy reasons. And she wrote to me, "Would it be okay if we became friends? Hi Chris, I found your profile from the Striving Young Professionals page and thought I'd send you a quick message to say hello. What I do here on Facebook is help other network marketers become successful no matter what company they are working with, and I do it all for free. I'm not out to pitch you because neither one of us are prospects for one another. I just want to pay it forward and help if help is needed. Would it be okay if I shared a free ebook with you that I found? You see, I found this book that explains why people do the things they do, and if you deal with people in your business, you'll probably enjoy the explanation in this book. There's no cost to get the ebook or any of our training. So if you're spending money to learn how to network or how to market, my biggest advice to you is to stop and put your wallet in the freezer. You can get the same and better training for free. If you would like me to send you the link to the ebook, just let me know. I would also be honored if you wanted to become friends to your success, Lotta." So my response, and then when I saw this message, my response was this to her. I said, "Lotta, I have a very hard time believing that you train other network marketers for free and pay it forward. I've been an MLM for 10 plus years, and that means you either have a back-end way monetizing people, which is fine, just be upfront about it, or the information has no value to it. My guess is that you're focusing on the back-end way to monetize. You seem like you're putting in the effort. Here are a few tips. If you're giving free training away to people, good luck with it. 99% of people don't value what they don't pay for. I'd also recommend not sending cookie cutter emails over Facebook, as that is considered spam in Facebook. Your account will eventually get locked. Also, before you blast out emails, you might want to do some research on people you're blasting. I've been full-time 8 plus years, and I list a few of my websites. Sincerely, Chris." So she writes me, "Hi Chris, thanks for getting back to me. The ebook I was talking about is called Success in 10 Steps. The book was written by my good friend and mentor, Michael someone. He's a 37-year-old veteran. He's a 37-year veteran of network marketing. His purpose in writing the book is to share what he's learned in over 35 years in network marketing and present a 10-step success plan anyone can use with any network marketing opportunity. There's no cost to download the ebook or for any of our training. Here's a link to it. Most people read the ebook literally save years of failure and frustration, but some don't because they don't take the time to read it. There's an old saying, do what you always done and you get what you always got. Let me know if you have any trouble downloading it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. To your success, Lotta." And that ends her Facebook message to me. So I wrote back to her, "Did you even read the message I sent you?" And she wrote back to me, "Did you read mine?" I replied, "Yes, I did. Nothing is free. What is your angle for monetizing, giving away free training?" And she replied back in all caps, "Read the ebook!" exclamation point. And at that point, I didn't reply or send any more messages to her because I saw where it was going really fast and that was nowhere. And my original intent with that email was to give her a few pointers, not to get into some argument or even get into a messaging back and forth with her. I just wanted to send her my thoughts. So there's a lot of reasons why this didn't work. First, you shouldn't go out there and start sending private Facebook messages to people you have no connection with. Facebook does consider that spam, and I've heard of people getting their accounts locked down, even getting accounts canceled, or Facebook will start limiting the messages you send, and only allowed to send 5 private Facebook messages a day or 10 private Facebook messages a day. And it's hard for me to give you specific numbers or how many you can or can't send in a day, because there's a lot of different factors, and Facebook is constantly changing the way their system works and how they regulate spam messages like this. So a good rule of thumb is just don't go out there and start sending private messages or private emails to people that you have no contact with. I don't think it's a good use of time for your personal business building, and you also don't want to get your Facebook account locked down or even canceled or deleted. That would really suck for your business and for your personal stuff as well. Second, when I asked her questions or made points, she never even acknowledged it. And this isn't just true in the Facebook world. This is true in any format that you're going out there and building your business with. To me, what pops my mind when people do that, where I asked a couple specific questions in here or made a couple of points, and she acted like I didn't say anything or I didn't ask a question and just went on with her pre-canned email, or in the real world it would be like a pre-canned script that someone would say or repeat to you. And it's a lot of this MLM training out there, like the sales training or prospecting training, that tells you, hey, always say this to the person, and then say this and say that and say that. Well, that stuff doesn't work. It's like being a telemarketer. It might work if you go through thousands and thousands and thousands of people, but it's going to be pretty ineffective, and you're going to get a lot of black eyes and bruises along the way. And a lot of these popular MLM trainings go out there and say, okay, if the person asks you a question or an objection, always ask a question back. Sorry, that doesn't make any sense. If I ask a question and you don't answer my question, well, what does that do to me? You think I'm really going to sit there and keep talking with you? No. That sales gimmicky stuff might work for a while. It might get a few people sign up with you, but it's going to cause a lot more harm than good in the long run. You can't go out there and steamroll people. You can't go out there and ignore what people are saying or what questions people are asking. If someone says something to you or someone asks you a question, you need to answer it back. Otherwise, you're going to have a high drop-off rate in your sales funnel or marketing funnel, like prospecting experience, and a lot of people will start avoiding you. You'll get the reputation of being one of those pushy MLMers who follows a 3-foot rule and just talks to everyone and pukes information all over them. And if you do set up some people using that technique, well, a lot of those people will end up quitting, either because they don't like that sales technique and they can't go out there and do it, or because whatever question they ask, was a legitimate question in their mind or an objection, and if you never answer it, well, guess what? They still have that objection in the back of their mind. So when they do sign up in the business with you, that objection is always sitting there saying, well, isn't this a pyramid? Or, oh, my friends are going to make fun of me about this. Or I don't like doing this. But they never got that answered, or they're afraid to ask you because they know they're not going to get a response from you. So if you actually look at this conversation as if it was in a real world, or I should say like a face-to-face conversational setting, it'd be pretty comical and also very ineffective on her part. Because like I said, you can't answer a question with a question without acknowledging anything I said. And in her last message, she wrote in all caps, which is basically like screaming, hey, read the ebook. Now, could you imagine someone doing that in real life? No, it would just, like I said, be comical and be incredibly ineffective. So as you're out there doing things on Facebook, I always think about, okay, if I was sitting face to face with someone or in like a real world setting, off the internet, with people around me actually, would this make sense or would this feel comfortable? And if it doesn't, I generally won't do it. Because Facebook is really just a mirror of how we think and we communicate and we interact in the real world. Now, I will say a lot of people on Facebook will make comments and do things that they would never do in the real world. I'm sure you've seen that in political postings and humor and jokes and comments back. A lot of times they're inappropriate that people would never do in the real world. So if the technique you're using, the way you're having conversations or prospecting or trying to promote your business, wouldn't make you feel comfortable if you're doing it face-to-face with someone, guess what? It's probably not going to work on Facebook either. Now, she said she saw me off a page. It was like Striving Young Professionals, which is actually one of my downlines Facebook pages. And so she saw something I posted on there and wanted to start developing a relationship with me. Fine, I'm all for that. I do that. That's the equivalent to networking. That's the equivalent to making new friends and building relationships, because that leads to business eventually. Not every person, but it does lead to business. So if I'd posted something on Striving Young Professionals, she could have posted something back there publicly or sent me a private message, relating to it, saying, oh, I saw this on there and you said this. Hey, I agree 100% with you there. That's a good comment, blah, blah, blah. Or, hey, I didn't realize you live in this part of the country. I used to live there too. There are ways you can go about to start building a relationship. But coming straight out of the gate and just basically puking this information and spamming this information is not the way to go. It's the equivalent of throwing mud on the wall or talking to everyone you meet within 3 feet of you. You're going to get a lot of no's and a lot of weird looks and a lot of people not wanting to be your friends. Now, if she was legitimately trying to build a relationship with me, who knows where that goes. If you've gone through our sales and communication training, we're huge on building the relationship. Not with the intent of building the relationship to get the person in your business, but just build the relationship. The more relationships you have, the more business you'll have, and generally the happier we'll be in life. I don't care what business you're in, whether it's network marketing or not network marketing, the more people you know, the better off you are. So a goal you want to take here, if you're going to use Facebook, is to keep that in mind and try to develop as many legitimate relationships as possible. You've heard me talking about playing the long game in network marketing, playing the long game in your business. If you really want to build a residual income that will last you 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, or something you can will to your children or grandchildren, you need to play the long game, and that includes playing the long game with building relationships, meeting new people, developing a long-term pipeline. And you do that by being, by actually having conversations with people and not spamming people or just going out there and puking information all over people. Now, one thing I do use Facebook for very successfully with, that I will send direct messages off of, is when a person opts into one of my websites. A lot of times I have like a free ebook download or a newsletter, and all I require is a name and email address, so they join my my email newsletter. Is I will take their name and I'll take their email address and plug it into Facebook. And I'd say about a third of the time I can find that person's profile, and I will send them a friend request, and I will send them a message saying, hey, I noticed you downloaded the blah, blah, blah ebook from my website. Wanted to make sure you got that. And also, are you able to apply it to your business? Or what do you think about this? And I'll ask them a question relating back to the topic of that ebook or what that website is about. Now, that is different from what she is doing, because they came to my website. They were seeking out information, found my website, and wanted to download my ebook or join my newsletter because they wanted to see if it would help them with whatever, with wherever they're at. And so I'm basically replying to that and doing a really quick follow-up to make sure, A, they got the information, and B, to see if they can start applying the information to help them get to where they need to go. So those are a couple ideas on what not to do in Facebook and what you can do on Facebook. If you have any other questions, hey, post it below. Let me know and I'll do my best to answer it. And if you are not good at communicating or you are having trouble building relationships, make sure you go to MLM Complete Package. I'll pull it up here. Go to MLMCompletePackage.com. Click on Products and click on Communication. And we have a very in-depth communication course that'll take you through everything you need to know from building relationships and taking the person down the path to getting signups and getting customers.